Welcome to the Soul Tribe Podcast. The Soul Tribe Podcast was created to help you navigate through the world of spirituality, wellness, and self-development in an easy, grounded, and relatable way. We break down everything from the Akashic Records, manifesting, spirituality, and so much more. We want to help expand your boundaries and bring the spiritual world to you in a fun and easy way. Get ready to be inspired with tips, tools, and easy to digest information. Let's do this.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Soul Tribe Podcast. Today's episode, we decided to do something a little bit different. We're all stuck at our houses. We are all trying to stay balanced, healthy, and aligned. At least most of us are. We are all thinking about the same things. We're all feeling very similar things. And so we decided that today's episode will be Lorena and I just talking about how we're both trying to stay as aligned, balanced, and healthy as possible. What things we have heard and we're using to see if it helps us stay healthy and to help us if we do get coronavirus. Because the idea is, if you do get it, we want to be able to fight it as best possible. Not that we're going to die from it, but we want to, struggle through it less, get past it faster, and, quarantine ourselves if that does happen, and make sure we don't pass it on to anybody else. So, with that, Lorena, how you feeling today?
I'm good. For me personally, it's been really busy at work. So I've been home working. This is going to be 2 weeks today. And it's been good. It's been productive in that sense, but I feel like I've had less time than usual to kind of focus on myself, even we're in lockdown here. So I haven't been able to get out of the house or do any exercise since 2 days ago. And we're not sure if this is going to continue or not, but I feel really calm. I'm not sure if it was my hypnotherapy session that I had the other day with Becca, or I don't know. It completely shifted my mind, completely. It made me super positive. I'm not looking at the news. I'm just thinking more about our projects and helping people and focusing our energy on all this positive stuff, that it's been really interesting just to see that shift in myself. And even when I hear the news, I just kind of tune it out. I'm like, doesn't matter. I'm at home. I'm safe. It's going to be okay. And if I can help people, I can help people. And that'll make things even better.
Those that don't know you, for you to say, I'm not panicking, that's that's huge.
That's huge.
I've always said, if anything ever happens to me, I hope Lorena's not in the room. Because you'll always make it worse. You'll just put the person in panic drive if they're not already in it. And we've had that experience when we were young. We're do you remember when we were sledding in New York and I lost control of the sled and you and Aaron were get on your stomach and roll off. And I had enough time to get on my stomach, and then I flew off of the hill onto the top of Aaron's dad's car, and I got the wind knocked out of me because I was on my stomach. And then I flew off the car onto the driveway. And so I got the wind knocked out of me twice. And I remember I was already not able to breathe because I had hit my stomach. But I was pretty calm somehow, but I was just freaking out because I needed air. I couldn't get air. And you come running over and you're like, oh my God, you're blue, you're dying. Oh my God, you're dying. And that's when I started panicking. And Aaron's like, Lorena, stop. Stop, you're making it worse. And then Aaron's mom figured out that something was going on because we were playing outside. She came out from inside the house, and the first thing she did was take you away. She's like, leave. You're not making it easier.
I'm definitely a worrier, that's for sure. But I feel with this, I started off that way. I think worrying, just looking at the news every 2 minutes and freaking out and oh my God, this many people have gotten it and what's going on here. I'm staying, in tune with the news. I know what's going on. I'm following the brief and the government messages here, but I feel fine. I feel good. I feel a little restricted, I would say, with movement, but we live on the beach, so we're able to go out and just get a little bit of fresh air, and it's fine. I think more exercise-wise, this is showing me how sedentary I have been anyway. But yeah, I mean, I feel good. I don't know how you're feeling, because I know you have a bunch of stuff you've been doing, right?
I mean, I have Aurora home all day long. I mean, it's not that much of a change of my life from before because we live in a town up north 50 minutes from Amsterdam, right? So it's like a small town already. So I was already used to, and I don't speak the local language very well at all, so I didn't really have a new set of friends. I was just communicating with, my friends from a distance. So I didn't really have a very active social life, like face to face. And so for me, it's not that much of a change. The only thing that changes is that Aurora doesn't go to preschool 3 hours a day, 4 days a week. So I don't have those 3 hours that I used to have, which I usually use to read or like to do things for the podcast. And sometimes I would use it to work out. But so I have to say Aurora's taking it really well and Aurora's handling it very well. So it's okay. And the 1 hour, we have this like whole nature area. We have like a beach area here and a nature area, which is not something you imagine when you imagine Holland. You don't imagine beach, but we do have like a really nice beach and we have like a whole nature walk. And it's literally 4 blocks from the house, 3-4 blocks from the house. So what I do to like get fresh air and get my head like, just a refresher for me and for Aurora is to get her tired before her nap. We go out for a walk for an hour. And that really helps both of us. And I know that not everybody's in the same situation. A lot of people are locked in cities where, like, for example, like Erin's in New York City and she can only go, to Central Park, which she has nearby. And I'm guessing everyone's trying to do the same thing. So not everybody can do that because the city's packed. So I think a lot about every time I go out on the nature walk and I only cross paths with 3 or 4 people and we all keep our distance. I think about those people and I think about like Erin and I think about the people that are stuck in cities and I think, oh man, and especially if you have a kid, how hard is it? And even if you don't have a kid, that's still hard.
It's still hard, yeah.
Yeah.
But health-wise, like, how are you doing?
Well, health-wise, I'm taking a bunch of like supplements and stuff for like, first off, I've been fasting because it's my key way of not munching too much.
I think that's a good point because a lot of people are overeating right now of the anxiety and the worry. Yeah.
It's off the plate. It's totally off the plate from Monday to Friday. Saturday and Sunday, I have like my normal weekends where like I can eat whatever I want and enjoy and stuff. Yeah. But from Monday to Friday, I'm doing fasting. So it's pretty easy. I find it really easy actually. Like I stop eating at 8 p.m. Like I don't snack on anything. So my fasting starts at 8 p.m. and then, which is pretty good because I go to sleep without having too much food in my stomach and it helps you sleep. And then you have the night to sleep and then I wake up and I get breakfast ready for Aurora and I continue. And you can drink tea and coffee and water and stuff. You just can't put like sugar in it and things or milk. So I have my mate, the Uruguayan, mate thing that I don't know if people know what it is, but it's just like this green tea you drink out of a silver straw. I drink that and water and I don't get hungry and I actually feel really good. Like I'm not getting bloated like I used to. So I'm feeling like really good and my digestive system seems to be functioning actually better. So I definitely recommend it. I feel like and I'm trying to get to an ideal weight so that if I do get sick, it helps me like stay in line, helps my immune system. Obviously, if I start feeling sick, I'll stop fasting. That's the logic thing to do. But for now, I'm good. But so if anybody listened to our previous episode, we at one point with Paul and Paul, they talk about this Healy, and I had gotten like a checkup on their Healy, resonance machine, and it reads like your aura, and it reads with your fingerprint, it reads your frequency and what you need. And so I had a conversation with Paul and. Off the episode from the other day, like I talked to him after, and we talked about my health issues and my struggles and my immune system struggles and stuff like that. And this was before Corona, and I was kind of interested in it. I almost convinced myself to get it, to try it out, and also because I thought I want to try it out because if it's a thing, I want everybody to know about it. Like if it's something that really works, I want everybody to know about it. But then Corona kicked in, and I said, you know what, this is the time to try it. So I've been carrying around my Healy. I've been using it, and I use it daily. I use up to like 3-4 frequencies a day. I feel good. Even like one of those days where I was cleaning the house, I literally clean the house. I start at 8 a.m. I don't stop till like 3-4 p.m. And I don't stop to eat, and I don't stop to like drink. Like I drink water on the side, but I don't stop to like drink coffee or anything. I just clean till I get it done. And usually what that means is at the end of the day, my back's hurting really bad. And so I was like, oh, let me try this out to see if it works, because supposedly Healy is known the most for its pain. It helps you get rid of pain. I thought, okay, this is, let me see if this works. And I put on one of the programs, and it runs for 60 minutes. And 5 minutes after the program finished, I was like, my lower back doesn't hurt anymore. I was like, oh my God. I was like, that's pretty good.
Wait, so you just wear it doing your stuff, right? Like, how does that work?
You just don't want to like get wet, obviously. You don't want to go in the shower with it because it's giving you
No, but like, let's say you're cleaning. Can you do it while you're cleaning the house? Or
Yeah.
you're like you're recording a podcast, you can wear it and it's fine?
If the cables are a little uncomfortable, you just put it under your shirt, because you have most, like 80% of the programs run on your like wristbands, and you snap it on to your wristband. So and then you hang it, like you can hang it on your clothes. So you have these two cables around your arms that are hanging that could get caught with things. So when I wear it, if I'm like dealing with Aurora or cleaning the dishes, if I have it on, I'll just make sure not to get my wristbands wet, and I'll have it under my shirt or, whatever I'm
that's
doing.
fine then. That's easy.
Yeah, and what I didn't know was, like, if you look at the screen, so basically you run the program from your smartphone. And so what I didn't know was, like, I always saw the frequency numbers changing, and I never really figured out what it was. And then the good thing about Healy is you have, like, a sponsor. So, like, you buy it under somebody, which, of course, they get a commission from it. But the good thing about it is you have someone to nag with all your questions. Poor Paul. And Paul, because I've been calling them going, I can't get the on button to work, because he had to like hit it a little bit harder. So I couldn't even figure that out. So he's like, literally answered the phone call. We were on for like an hour. He explained everything. I was like, okay, this is good. This is amazing. You get a sponsor, because there's someone directly you can go to. Be like, what frequency do you think this, and blah, blah, blah. And so it's pretty good. And they give you a manual, but it's better to talk to somebody about it that has experience with it. So now I've gotten pretty good at understanding everything, and I have my own experience. So now I don't have to nag him anymore about it. But he invited me to one of the conference calls, and I learned that the number that changes frequency, it has a quantum reader. So like quantum physics, like it reads you, like quantum physics and all that stuff. Okay, well the quantum has a quantum sensor, I think it's called. So the quantum sensor reads what frequency. For let's say you have pain in my like I did my lower back, I have pain. So I'm going to put on the program to help me with that, because you'll pick programs specific for what you feel like you want or need, and then it will read what frequency your body needs to give it to you. Because what they say is, if it gives you a frequency that your cell doesn't need, because it's based on your cells, that your cell doesn't need, your cell's not going to accept it. So it's just pointless. So what it does is...
It's a waste of time, right?
Yeah, it's a waste of time. You're going to be sitting there longer. And so this thing literally figures out what frequency your exact cells need, and it gives it to you.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Oh my God, I'm like obsessed
sounds
with
like
it.
very advanced.
Yeah.
No, but we have been, like, Lou and I have been talking all, like, what is it, 2 weeks now that you've had it, something like that? And
I think it's 3 weeks now.
You had started to get sick the other day. I remember you telling me that, and then you started using the Healy, and all of a sudden you were better.
Yeah, but well, first I called Paul and I said, Paul, because I was going to go see Paul, and I was going to go with the machine. He was going to kind of like show me the ropes. But I started feeling really sick, and the first thing I thought was, do I have corona? And the second one was, or do I just have a flu? And then I called Paul, and I said, well, I'm not going to go, because if I do have corona, I don't want to give it to you guys, and I shouldn't be leaving the house. And he goes, run bacteria and run immune system. So I run.
So it's like the program.
Yeah, the programs. They're called bacteria, and it helps you attack the bacteria that's not good for you, right? That's in your body. So I did run the bacteria, and I ran immune system, and then I ran balance and being. And balance is for like your soul and stuff, and being
spiritual side.
Yeah, and one is for your emotions. I think being is for your emotions. I might mix them up, but one is for your like soul side, and the other is for your emotional side. Because hey, emotions do make you sick, right? So I ran all
totally.
4 of those programs. Usually, you know me, I wake up 3 times sicker than I went to sleep.
Yeah, every time.
Dude, 80% better. And then I ran the same programs again the next day, 90% better. And then I ran them again, boom. 3rd day I woke up perfect, and I was like, oh, I can't believe I'm not worse. I usually describe how I feel like. I feel like death after it woke up and it died again.
No, plus I was just remembering what their story on when they were coming back from Spain, and they were tired and they were getting sick, or they had like the sniffles, and then they used it, and then they were better. That's so cool. Like, definitely I want to I want to get one.
I want you to get one, but they don't have it in Cayman Islands now.
Yeah, so I have to, especially now with all this going on, it's a bit difficult. But it's a great tool, I think, to have right now, especially if you're...
It's amazing. It's like a natural...
feeling, because it's not just like you getting sick. Apart from there being a really bad flu season around the world, it's also about... emotionally, I think a lot of us are just really stressed out and having a lot of anxiety and just worrying about...
There's a program for anxiety. I literally thought about you when I saw it. Like,
I remember you telling me about that. I'm like, I need to try that. Even though I've been super calm lately, which is thanks to Becca, I think, my hypnotherapy, which I kind of resisted. It was really weird. I was like, oh, should I even do this? I don't know.
So did you try to get the hypnotherapy for the situation we're in?
No, I had already done 3 sessions with her. So it was like 1 week after another. And then I added a 4th session, which I took like a week break because it was when everything kind of was happening, when it like I started working from home and we started like having all the news come through here that there were more cases than were expected. So that's when I kind of went into this like freak out mode. And then after that, I was like, okay, I need to cancel this week. And then I almost resisted not doing it this Tuesday. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. And I almost forgot, like I was in bed at like 8. I was like, screw this. I'm tired. And then I was like, oh shoot, I have my session with her. And it was freaking amazing. She's amazing. And I'm listening to my recordings at night. So that helps. So you do it helps like your subconscious incorporate the new beliefs, because it's like you're gonna believe things, right? Like you're gonna believe, like for example, all the news. I believe, like this could be a belief someone has. I believe that coronavirus is horrible and it's gonna kill everybody and we're all gonna die. Like that could be someone's belief.
Yeah.
So you worrying about things and you believing them, and she's helping me a lot with the tapping. Like I've been tapping a lot, like EFT, emotional freedom technique, and it's great. And she has a whole video. I'm gonna put that link on this episode. She has a whole video explaining how to tap. So everyone can try that, because I think that's great.
And we'll be having her on the podcast.
We need to have her on. She's amazing.
She's helped you out a lot.
My gosh, yeah. Like I feel like a lot of my journey has been thanks to her, like liberating myself from so many limiting beliefs and stuff. So, there's so many sides to healing, and I think...
Well, that's the thing also, we did this podcast because there's so many different ways or so many different things that you can use. Which one works for you? It's like hard to figure out sometimes because
let's maybe, I think like what we can go into now is like maybe talking about what we're like. I think we both did a post the other day on like what supplements and stuff we're taking.
Yeah, we did.
So maybe we can mention those now. And for me, it's I don't know if I've mentioned this on the podcast, but I was doing an alkaline diet, which I'm a little bit off at this week because it's just been craziness. But for the most part, I am following an alkaline diet. So no wheat, no sugar, no dairy, no alcohol, just a very clean diet. I pretty much eat it. You can eat corn, you can eat oats, you can eat a bunch of stuff. I wouldn't say it's paleo because you're also not supposed to eat a lot of beef. You're supposed to eat a lot of fish and like chicken and stuff like that, and beans. So that wouldn't be paleo. You guys can like Google alkaline diet and see. A lot of people, I think, feel great on it. And then with that, I've been taking my homeopathic medicine. So that's been something I take every day, and I've been taking that for over 2 months, and it helps your immune system. So I do feel like, that's something that I have an advantage on right now. And then I'm also taking colloidal silver, which I think you are as well. And that's something my doctor, the one that I'm doing the homeopathic medicine with, has recommended. I've been taking elderberry, like the Sambucus Immune elderberry syrup. I've been taking that for a while. Now, these are supplements I've been taking for ages now, probably over a year and a half or 2. I think those would be like the main ones. Obviously, I'm doing like omegas and B vitamins and vitamin D. Vitamin D apparently is pretty good. Obviously, ask your doctor about all this. We're not medical professionals. But I'm low on vitamin B1, 6, and 12.
Oh, that's right.
I
You
think.
got a blood test not too long ago.
Yeah. So So that, and also vitamin D. So I think vitamin D also has something to do with your immune system. So that's important for you maybe to get checked out. So those would be kind of like the supplements I'm taking.
I've been taking, like you, the elderberry syrup, and just like everything I've incorporated into my day-to-day, I'm using all this stuff to boost my immune system because we both know I have a really bad one. So, like, again, I don't think I'm going to die if I get coronavirus. I just know I'm going to have a really tough time and I'm going to feel pretty miserable. So I'm doing everything I can to boost my immune system in case it does happen. So I've been using, the elderberry syrup. And then Mom messaged us the other day and said that she had heard that colloidal silver, like you just said, helps kill bacteria in
viruses.
Viruses in your body.
Yeah.
And the first thing I did was I Googled it and I went to get it. I tried to get it on Holland & Barrett online and it was sold out. I was like, oh, people know about this. And I never knew because it's sold out. And then
I've known about it for a while.
I had no idea until Mom said it.
Through a friend at work, yeah.
Mom's like, go get it now.
You have to be very careful though, because if you take too much, you can turn blue for like ever.
You can turn blue?
You can turn blue, yeah. That's like the main, it's really bad.
You become a Smurf.
You're pretty much, yeah. So be very careful. Like, obviously, get a recommendation from your doctors on what supplements to take. And
I'm
all
taking
that. Like,
the doctor that Mom's bio.
Yeah, our doctor.
Bioenergetic doctor.
Yeah, I don't.
She said 10 drops.
Metatherapy.
10. Yeah. She told Mom to take 10 drops 3 times a day. 3 times a day.
Yeah, I thought it was 2, but morning and night I do.
I'm doing it 3 times a day. Maybe I turn blue.
But
soon.
I think
I don't know.
Yeah, be very careful and read the instructions on the box because that's important. I think another thing is like
I don't know what the box says.
Oh no, that happened to me when I was there. I was like buying all these things. I was like, I don't know how much to take.
Yeah.
So I think another thing we all kind of sometimes don't realize we have so much power with is food. Mm-hmm. Like food, the food we're eating right now is so important. And that's a struggle too for people because if you think about it, like a lot of people can't get out of the house. Like we're stuck in the house right now. And my main worry right now is food. I'm like, I need food that I can eat that's healthy because I don't want to be relying on junk food. That'll make you sick. Like,
of course.
I listened to a podcast. I think it was Lacey Phillips' podcast with Karen Hurd, where she's talking about how to fight this virus or any coronavirus for that matter is heat. So you need to make sure your body's warm, especially if you're in a cold climate.
Well, that's what Mom
and then
was
she was
saying,
talking about sugar too.
And stuff.
Yeah. So sugar, you need to cut out sugar completely. And that's like fruit sugar. And that's like just processed sugar. So I mean, we should all anyway be careful with sugar. I'm not saying like fruit sugar because I like having fruit every now and then, but just be careful you're not eating all this processed food. I think that's a good thing right now if we can be careful.
Does that count like chocolate? Can I eat chocolate?
I eat chocolate, but I eat sugar-free chocolate and dairy-free chocolate, which is kind of boring.
I enjoy chocolate.
But that's because of my diet. And if I take this homeopathic medicine and I have tons of sugar, it counteracts it, and it's like drinking water.
Yeah.
The sugar kind of defeats the whole purpose. The diet is super important to go along with it.
That's another thing the fasting's helping me because I don't have breakfast. So I'm not having bread from Monday. Well, I had bread today after my fast was over, which is today's Friday. But Monday to Friday, I'm basically not having bread because I'm not having breakfast. And then the first meal I eat, you're supposed to like break the fast with good fats. So I sent you a picture the other day. I was like egg, avocado, I had goat cheese, olive oil, and I had nuts. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's how I broke my diet. And oh God, just... You haven't been eating in a while, so just anything just stays good at the time. Yeah.
It's good. I mean, I don't know if fasting's going to be for everyone, but, I did it for a while. I did the intermittent fasting for a while, and I did benefit from it, especially if you feel like you're super anxious right now, and I feel like a lot of us are probably emotionally eating. And that's hard. Like I found myself a few days doing that and I was like, oh, I would totally eat some pizza or like a cake or a piece of chocolate just because I feel really low right now. Mm-hmm. But let's try to resist that. Let's try to just fill our bodies up with really healthy food so at least we can, because this is also affecting us spiritually, right? When we bombard our body with all this sugar and all of this junk, it's like you're not in tune with your body. You're disconnected in some way, and that affects us spiritually. And we even heard that from Christos and Foster. Like they don't eat sugar. They eat a primarily vegan diet. And I'm not saying to go vegan, but vegan doesn't work for me. I've tried that. But it could work for somebody. We all need to listen to our bodies, and this is pretty much why we're all stuck in our houses because we need to listen to ourselves.
It's time to figure stuff out. About it. I'm concerned about people talking about snacking too much. It's not happening too much at our house because, well, I'm obviously going through fast, and Sandra's busy working most of the time. So he'll come down and like get himself another coffee or tea, and maybe he'll snack a little bit. But he's busy working, and he works in the attic, so he has to come down to get
Two
snacks.
flights of stairs. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that kind of like takes that off the plate for him while he's working at least. And then if you have a child, they have to eat every like 2-3 hours. You're constantly serving them food. So if I didn't have the fast on my plate, like I would probably be slacking with her. I'd be like, oh, cookie for you, oh, cookie for me, oh, banana for you, oh, banana for me. Oh.
Yep. Yeah, it's true though. Yeah, you have to be. Yeah. I think it's a time to be present, because when you're present, you're going to be more aware of if your body's actually hungry or not. I think that's a problem right now for a lot of us. We're stuck in our emotions, stuck in our thoughts, and stuck on these feelings, and then not listening to ourselves.
So let's like focus. I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but I have my Akashic records open, and then so I thought to myself just now, like, I wonder what the vice of the Akashic records would be. And obviously, if you think that and you have them open, you're going to get the response. But basically, they talked obviously before an episode about the homing, right? But it's not just homing. It's we have to learn a new way of existing, and us being stuck in our houses, we need to start spending more time of creating a quality life. And quality life isn't just let me bond with you, you live with me, let me bond with myself. It's also let me start being more sustainable and growing. Maybe you don't have to grow your entire, all your meals. But what they're saying is we have to start building communities where maybe I'll grow lettuce and my neighbor will do tomatoes, and we could do like switching. Like that's kind of how they show it to me. Like as communities, we should start creating a more sustainable way of functioning, and we can all share with each other what we're sustaining from our own end. They don't want us to be like just depend on ourselves where I grow everything myself. No, they want us to share, but also sustain ourselves in a more healthy way. This is all part of like the cleaning. We're cleansing our souls, and we're cleansing our bodies, and we're cleansing our quality of life, and we're cleansing our relationship. And the word for all that is cleansing, because you're cleaning out to exist in a different way, in a better way for yourself and for everybody around you.
Totally. Yeah. I agree with that message. It's also like what I've seen is also people coming together during this time and realizing what's really important right now. It's not you going to buy a new car because you can't, or buying new clothes. It's like, I just need to be okay right now with myself, with my emotions and everything, and working together with people to help each other. Like I've seen posts of people helping their neighbors get groceries, or like, you know what I mean? Like doing these little acts of kindness that really make a difference and that we wouldn't make time for before.
I think for me, I've noticed some positive things outside of all the negative. Like, I don't know, my image of governments were always not very great. And there's not one particular thing I could say why, but I've never had a really good image of any government in any world. Like I always thought sometimes they collect a lot of taxes. Some certain countries will collect a lot of taxes and they'll give not so much back to the population, And I know sometimes it's sustain roads and things. Like I know there's a whole reason behind it, but sometimes I think that governments could help a little bit more. And I'm actually seeing governments stepping up and actually thinking about people. Like, I think it's a big deal that a government's going, let's see if we can give everybody wages. And I know they're doing it for the financial aspect of the country in itself, but I still think it's an act of kindness from the government. That's something that you don't see every day,
Yeah, totally. Even here where I'm in Cayman and it's tax-free, no one pays taxes, yet, banks are helping people with their mortgages. They're putting food banks together. People are chipping in and helping. And if anything were to happen to any of our neighbors here, like we'd all chip in and help. Like we emailed our neighbors in one of the other apartments in our complex and said, they're 90 years old and they're like, they're a very advanced age and they look great. They're fine. They seem healthy. But I thought to myself, as soon as all this was happening, I was like talking to other neighbors. I'm like, does anyone, I don't want to get too close to them either.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to knock on their door, but like, it's like, do you have their email? Do you have their phone number? And we like reached out to them between a few of us and said, we're here for you. If you need anything, please don't hesitate to we can go grocery shopping for you. We can do anything you need.
Before you put it in front of their door or something.
Yeah. You just buy it, use, whatever. And we do that here. Like we wipe down all of our groceries if we go out and like wait a little bit and then wash all of the vegetables and everything and make sure everything's like sanitized. but some people don't have anybody to help them. Like that's where we need to all kind of come together.
Yeah.
And I think it's also a time, and this is what I realized through my session the other day, hypnotherapy, because there's a lot of talking too, and you coming to realizations, and Becca helps you a lot with that, is like, in my mind, I was thinking, okay, so everything's dead right now. What do I do? You know, I have to turn everything off. Like there's no opportunities. And it's like, yes, there's tons of opportunities. There's opportunities to help. Like that's why we created the live event tomorrow. Today's Friday, March 27th. Tomorrow, the 28th, we're doing our live Akashic Records reading. And that was something that I had on my mind for so long, for weeks now. But I felt like I needed to do it with Lucia. Like I didn't want to do it on my own. It had to be something, because us working together is so much stronger. And I think we both attract different kinds of people together, that I was like, okay, we need to do this together. And then we just like, all right, let's put a date, let's do it. And we need to start giving back. We need to help people. People need messages right now. And just doing that and like coming into that energy makes me feel so balanced. It makes me feel in purpose again. Like I'm actually doing something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And talking about balanced and stuff like that, like I think it's really important that those that are open to meditating, oh my God, please don't skip it. This is the time to like try to meditate every day if you can, because it's just going to help you so much. I've been doing it for a year now, almost every night before sleeping. And I'm still doing it. And I hope that other people are starting to do it more, because this is when we need it the most, when we're stuck in our houses and you don't know you have nowhere to escape, but also you need to like, and some people have been going, and they're just stopping for the first time in their life and confronting themselves.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
good. If you're in that place, it's going to be rough, and meditation is going to help you. And of course, like you said, a balanced diet is going to help you. And this is everything that's happening is for the greater good of us, even though I know that we're going to lose people. I know that people are going to get sick, and I'm not saying that's good, but what I'm saying is those people at least are going somewhere good. Like, I know that at least. I know that if tomorrow something happened to me and I wasn't able to survive it, I know that I'm going home, and I'm going to a good place. So I'm not going to suffer anymore once I'm gone. I'm going to be suffering while I'm, almost leaving maybe, and so that's how I think about it. I look at it a little bit differently. So I know that some people are like, oh, you're saying it's for the greater good, but look at all these people that are, are departing, but they're departing to go home. And, there's nothing we can do about that except for what we're doing now, which is quarantining, trying not to contact much people, and waiting for a bigger solution. But meanwhile, there's a greater reason for all this happening, because they had to literally throw something pretty big in our faces for all of us to actually wake up, because it was not going to happen, man.
That's what I think. There's no way we are all going to wake up if we're just...
They've sent earthquake. They've sent fires. They've sent flooding. And we're still zombies, right? We're still not awake. Mm-hmm. What's the next step? What was the next step? Death. Death is the only one thing that scares everybody out of their wits.
That's very true.
It was the only thing that they had left to send us. And here we are. And if we had stopped it before, if we'd all waken up as a collective before, then maybe we wouldn't have gotten to this. But this is the next big step they could have taken. And I'm saying I'm talking about like beings of light, beings, masters, guides, and whoever you want to believe in. It doesn't matter who you believe in, because at the end of the day, we're all going to the same place. They're the ones that are assisting us, and they're the ones that are making sure that we're trying to get we get the awakening from this situation. But this was the only logical step for them to be able to wake us up.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think this is a moment for all of us to, like you were saying, wake up, start changing things in our lives. This is an opportunity. We have time, we have space, and we have the free will to make a decision and to change how we're living and what we're doing. And even our beliefs, maybe, because a lot of us have certain beliefs inside of us. It's like, oh, I have to work really hard to live. And then you realize, well, maybe I don't, because I don't need all these things I thought I needed. Like, people are starting to purge their houses, clean stuff out, realize that maybe I can live more like in a minimalist way with less things. because that doesn't make me happy. Like, I'm not saying that you can't be a consumer. I'm just saying I think this is making a lot of people rethink. And then there's the whole other side of it, which it's like, well, the majority of us are stuck at home. We're calm. I'm still working full time from home, thank God. And then a lot of people have lost their jobs. A lot of people still have their jobs. Then there's a whole other, group of people that are working like 24/7 trying to save people's lives.
Yeah.
So there's like this whole weird, like, separation between and then people appreciating that too, and other people that aren't. So there's like people that aren't following the rules and maybe making the situation worse, where it's like, this is a time to be like selfless, not selfish, and think about everybody and not yourself. But when you are in isolation, when you are at home, you need to be thinking about how you can make yourself, your life, and the world better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And also for me, like, I've personally taken this time to start studying more. Like, I started my astrology course last weekend. And I plan on doing a few other courses as time goes by. We're doing free stuff. We both put our Akashic records on sale. So we're both offering our sessions for 75. Well, I'm in dollars, Lucia's in euros, but 75 euros or dollars. And it's time to start getting answers for ourselves. Yeah. And I truly believe that.
Yeah, 100%. I wanted to be able, like you, I wanted to be able to, and I know that people are going through struggles financially, and I wanted to be able to help anybody who wants, who feels like they need the help. I mean, I used to charge around that price when a few years ago. So I just went back to kind of like the price I used to charge back then. And I hope that I can help as much as possible. This is the only gift that I have.
Yeah,
this is my gift.
It's huge. Yeah. I mean, what we do is amazing because we give people insight. And for me, the more I do Akashic records, the more aligned I feel, the more in balance I feel with myself. I had a reading
the other day, and I was having one of the days where I was like listening to the news. I listened to the news a little too much that day, and I was like, oh God, oh my goodness. And then I was feeling really off that day. And then so before my reading, like I usually do, I meditate to connect with my higher self, and then I connect with the masters and to prepare for the reading. Okay, so I go into the reading, and then I'm just feeling positive and I'm feeling great and like, channeling the messages. But then, when the session ends, I'm like, I need to just do this 24 hours a day. And so I never hit the bottom, of my emotions, because while you're in the zone of reading, while you're open with the Akashic records, they feel very positive about what we're going through. They're loving that we're going through this right now. So you're feeling that. And I remember telling her, I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm like I'm feeling very happy right now because I feel what they feel. And like, I feel nothing like this when. So it's yeah. Oh, I want to open up more
same for me.
Records at the same time because it also helps me. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, there's so much more we can say about like the Akashic records, obviously, but one thing that came up this week for both of us was that we need to get this course out because we've already channeled the whole first level 1, which is being able to open your own Akashic records. We've channeled that whole manual. We have the videos. We have everything. We've had them for months now.
It was an entire week of channeling for hours.
Yeah.
And just downloading all the information.
We have that ready, and we need to get that out there for people because people have time now.
But we were totally procrastinating on it. We were like, we'll find a platform to put it on. And meanwhile, everything was like ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're working on that this week. We've been really, really busy with that, both in our own ways with it and helping each other as like a team. So hopefully within the next few days, we'll be able to offer some group classes online. And then we'll also be putting that on like an online platform. Yeah. So we're going to have different options for everybody, different price points. So,
the platform was basically so you could do it on your own time. And so it's much cheaper. You just go online. It's the same content as in person. Just the difference is instead of me on the camera explaining it to you, you're going to get a video of me and you explaining it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll have all that up very soon. We're working hard, and
I think that's going to help people, because if they just have a tool, if they have a tool to connect with their Akashic records, and they're having a down day like us, even if you're a beginner, in the beginning it's hard because you need to get used to the tool. You need to figure out how you're receiving messages. Like, so the whole manual goes through that, right? But it's practice. So you have to be dedicated to it. But once you start getting the hang of it, you're going to get into that zone where you're getting information that's going to help you understand things and make you feel better. And you're not going to need someone to go to read your Akashic records. Even though I always say every therapist needs a therapist. Like I even myself go to readers.
Me too.
Like I have to get somebody to read me, because I channel my own things, but I want someone to say it to me. You know?
Sometimes you need an external voice, because, and until you get to that point of trusting, like, even though I trust my messages now, I use the Akashic records when I open my own as more like when we're doing a podcast or when we need to channel information for ourselves. Like I wouldn't say necessarily for a decision, but when I need to get creative for like a blog post and get ideas, or when I need to focus on something, or when I'm having a hard time and I feel like I'm too in my head, I'll open the Akashic records up. And for journaling, it's great, for example. Like I find it amazing, and it gets so much insight, and you ask questions like the same way you would when you go get a reading. You ask questions to yourself, to your own Akashic records.
I've used it to help me figure out
great.
code for the websites, my website and the STP website. I've used it when I get stuck with code. I'm like, can't figure this out. I'll spend hours, and then open up Akashic records and be like, oh, I had one little dot there. And they'll open your perspective, and I'll see. I'll be like, oh, I couldn't believe I didn't see that dot. I'm so weird. Come on.
It's true though. That's how it is. But yeah, hopefully that'll also help you guys. This is also something that we're putting out there very soon, because we know people need it, and we've been getting a lot of requests on this. So we want to make sure that we're not procrastinating anymore, because it's literally no more time for procrastination.
No.
Like we need to just do this. It's time. It's ready.
If people need
and
it,
I also had like
now.
a psychic reading the other day, and it came through. It's like, what are you waiting for? I'm like, I don't know.
Literally, though, I called you yesterday, and I was like, Lorena, let's get moving. Like, people want to do the course. We keep getting messages, and I was like, you're like, okay, well, the next week. I'm like, no, we're doing it now, Lorena. And you're like, okay, all right, fine.
It's just hard balancing.
I know you're really busy with work. I know.
I'm tired. Yeah, but we need to do this. Like, it's now or never. You know what I mean?
You saw me yesterday in my PJs in bed, literally doing some of the stuff on my computer. And if it were up to me, I would have gone to sleep. But I'm like, no, we got to get this course out.
Yeah. I woke up at 6 a.m. today as well and started cracking on with work, because I was like, okay, if I don't do it now, and now we have all weekend, so we'll be able to do it really soon, guys. Hopefully that's something that we can help you all with, because I know a lot of people could benefit from that, especially now. And then I just want to add a few more things before I guess we close off the podcast episode, because some other things that I've kind of been thinking a lot about with this whole balance and health during this very weird time that we're all going through is sleep. Like, sleep is huge right now. I slept like 10 hours the other night. That's how tired I was.
Really?
Yeah, I went to bed at like, I was asleep by 10, and then I woke up at 8. I have to start work at 8:30. Yeah, hashtag no children. I'm not a mom yet. So.
I can't do that.
Yeah, no. So sleep is really important right now, I think, especially if we feel tired. Allow yourself to sleep if you can.
The first few days when quarantine situation started happening here in Holland, the first 3 days, I wasn't able to sleep very well. And then now I'm sleeping well. I don't know if it's because I received the Healy in that time, and I started running the frequencies, and they also have programs to help you sleep. So I don't know if it's the Healy that started helping me sleep better, or it's just like it's starting to become a new normal. But whichever it is, now I'm sleeping better. But yeah, the first 3 days were rough for me.
It's hard, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't let the anxiety get you. Like, that's another thing I have here that I'm thinking about too. It's like, unplug from the news. Don't consume everything that's in your face. Like, turn off the news, be able to take an hour off and just do something fun. Like, if you have kids, play with your kids. If you can get outdoors, go walk your dog. Like, I literally sat outside for, I think, 45 minutes where I normally wouldn't do that, because it's just like, oh, I have other things to do. I'm too busy. I have to go upstairs and get back into the house. It's like, no, I have time. There's time.
You know how I'm handling the news?
Sat down and just like watched the dog play.
You might laugh at how I'm handling the news. I only listen to the news when I'm walking with Aurora. So I have only one headset in, but so I'm actually giving attention to Aurora, but I'm like half listening to the news on my headset. I listen to like podcast news. So I have only one ear in. And then I'm walking and I'm making sure to wear big boots because first it's cold. And second, big boots help you root. And then I'm running a cycle from the Healy to root because I think that if I'm more rooted, I'm going to deal with the news that I hear better. And I'm in nature.
That's a good idea.
Which roots me more. So I have 3 sets of root. My boots, nature, and the Healy. And that's when I listen to the news and I'm not freaking out. So it's working for me.
Hey, everyone needs to find their own way to manage all of this.
Yeah.
Like, we're all different, so...
I probably should be walking in nature, enjoying nature, though, instead of listening to the news. But,
yeah, okay. I would say that's probably better for you and just be present. But, hey, I'm trying not to consume the news. I'm just not looking at it anymore. Like, I'll tune in for a little bit here, or I'll find out through, like, Joe or something, but I'm just not... I prefer to put my energy right now into, like, the course... into this live that we're going to do, into Akashic Record readings, and to my courses and my studying and learning something new. And it's like I came up, I guess, in my reading with Becca, it's like, this is a time to plant a seed for yourself, like in your life. Like, what thoughts are you going to like allow yourself to believe and think right now so that when all of this kind of subsides a little bit, you come out the other side having grown and having kind of come out of it being a better version of yourself.
Yeah.
Instead of letting it bring you down and making you feel like, oh crap, like I feel horrible. Like I didn't learn anything. I just felt miserable the whole time. Like we can take that power back. We don't have to listen to everything that's in the news. We don't have to. That's our choice. We can turn the switch off. We can turn it off. We can decide to consume other information. Obviously stay in the news to know what's going on, but not all day.
No, not all day. No way. No,
that drives you freaking crazy.
No, I'll listen to spiritual stuff. I'll read spiritual books. Like after I come back from like the news and stuff, I'll usually work out because Aurora naps. I'll feed her. She goes to sleep. I'll work out. And then after I work out, I'll usually I'll eat something and then I'll start putting myself into total positive mode with or one of the courses that I'm really into or one of the books that I'm reading. So you can't have that all day. You need to find something that you're really, really, going to lift you up and you're really into. And yeah,
I agree. Use your time wisely. Some people have tons of time on their hand. Like, what have you always thought you wanted to do and you haven't been doing or you didn't have time to do? Like, now you have the time.
Yeah, for me it was the herbal class. I wanted to do herbalism I didn't add that. Actually, we were talking about it. I've been doing Bach flowers too, which I've been talked about it before. I'm continuing to do Bach flowers. So you're doing homeopathic medicine. I'm doing Bach flowers, which is flower remedies, which have helped me emotionally a lot. And I think that if I hadn't started taking it, because I started before this all started happening, I originally started taking it because I felt like I was losing it a little bit with Aurora. Like when she would have her temper, she's 3 years old. She would have temper tantrums and I would feel like I would be on edge and I wouldn't be able to handle them very well. And so that's why I originally started taking Bach remedies and my immune system because I was getting really, really sick. So I started taking them, and it's made my hair so beautiful that I'm not going to stop taking it ever in my life.
It does look great. It looks great. No, seriously, I've complimented you a bunch on it.
I know.
It looks thicker.
It's like, oh yeah, my hair is thicker and it's like shiny, and
it's so weird.
It's and people have asked me, "Oh, have you taken it because of your hair?" Like, no, that's like a total secondary thing. Thankfully, that came with it. That's not the reason why I took it. And if you Google it, it doesn't say that it's going to help your hair. But it's helped me emotionally and it's helped my beautiful hair.
Great. Yeah. I mean, this is time to try different things, guys. Like get out of your comfort zone and do that thing that you've been thinking about,
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to add to this because this was basically about balance and health and how to kind of
how we're coping.
Maybe not using our spiritual side that as much, but using more of like tools and things that we have outside of ourselves to bring ourselves back into balance and health during this time, right?
Yeah. Well, let's just let's list. I think we should put in the bio list. Like the elderberry and the colloidal silver. Like maybe we can list it and put maybe like links people can go to in case they want to check out what we're consuming. Maybe they're interested in finding out more about it. Again, we're not doctors. Yeah. we take advice and we use it and we see if it works, and these things have been working for us, and so we're keeping with it. So yeah, we'll list them down in the bio for you guys so you can check it out for yourselves and see if you guys are interested in trying it out. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, cool. All right, so we hope you enjoyed this episode. I know it's a little bit different than things that we've done in the past, but considering everything that's going on right now, I think this was kind of an episode that we were thinking about doing anyway. So we hope this helps you in some way to kind of see things in a different way and maybe take control of the situation you're going through in another way than you are right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, make sure you're following us on our Instagram, on the Soul Tribe Podcast Instagram. Its handle is @soul_tribe_podcast. And I hope if this live goes well with Lucia, we're going to do more. So definitely go follow us there, and we'll update you guys on anything we do. And we're going to be definitely giving back to everybody, helping as much as we can. So go follow us there. And also on Facebook, we have a Facebook page. All of that info will be on the show notes. And yeah, I hope everyone's staying calm, safe, and taking advantage of this time that we all have, and enjoying life as much as you can. So we'll see you guys next week, and we all hope you have a great week. Thanks, guys.
Bye. Thank you.